What is up? Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Week 6 Matchup live stream here at fantasypoints.com. I'm John Hansen. That's Greg Cosell. Our guy, Ben Kukanis, he is on the other side of the glass, the silent but effectively running the live stream guy, Ben Kukanis. Our guy, Adam Kaplan, is in Philadelphia right now with another commitment, but luckily we do get Greg Cosell. He's near Philadelphia, but like me, he's got too much work to do to be all fancy out there in public, right? Right, Greg? Hello.
Yeah, that's true this evening for sure.
Yeah. And Kaplan's just there trying to he's like trying to pick up women. Let's be honest. Let's be clear. No, I'm just kidding. Greg, let's get right into it. And obviously we do start in Philadelphia tonight as the Eagles host the Bucs, and you've watched both teams. Obviously the Eagles closely. We all know that they're not really committing to run the ball at all. Hurts is in the gun big time. What matchup here do you see as being the most critical? What element of the offense do you see as being the most critical for the Eagles to have success tonight?
Well, they're going to throw the football. We know that they're not going to run it. They haven't run it. There's no physicality to their offense through 5 games, John. There's no meaningful running game. So that's not going to change tonight against one of the best run defenses in the league, and clearly a defense that has issues on the back end right now due to injury. So I think you look at Devonta Smith as having a potentially big night. He's going to get targets. That's for sure. Yeah. The way they're going to score in this game is throwing the football, and they're going to throw it a lot. Because they know that this is not going to be a 17-13 game. So I would look for Smith, and I'd look for Quez Watkins tonight.
Yeah. Okay. I thought you were going to go O-line.
That's a big factor as well.
Yeah.
Hurts could be a big factor from a fantasy perspective because I think they'll be rushing yardage. But I was just thinking of the passing game itself when he does throw the football.
Sure. No, we love hearing Greg Cosell talk about this guy's going to have a big game. That's what we.
Well, they're going to get targets. We know they're getting targets.
And matchup wise, he may avoid Richard Sherman at times. And
no one will avoid Richard Sherman, John.
What's that?
No one will avoid Richard Sherman.
You think he's that good still, huh?
No, I think he's just another cornerback out there. I'm saying they're not going to avoid Richard Sherman.
I'm not saying purposefully avoid him. I know he's doing fairly well overall here, but they play a lot of zone, right? So is that something you see Devonta Smith being a guy like, great route runner, find those soft spots?
Yeah, Smith has shown even at this level in the NFL, he's shown very good route running skills. Sherman's a left corner. Sherman, they don't travel. They don't do any of that.
Right.
They've never done that.
So exactly. That's what I meant to say. He's going to be on Dean probably more often than not.
Well, we don't know that, but I mean, the point is they're not going to avoid a corner on the Bucs. They're going to run their offense.
Zach Ertz tonight. Again, they should throw it. He should get targets.
I would think so. I mean, I could be dead wrong, and I guess we have to see how the game plays out, but I would bet that Hurts drops back 45 times tonight.
Yeah, I said 40. So has Ertz looked? How has he looked to you this year?
I haven't really looked at him closely, which means he hasn't stood out to me one way or the other.
That's probably good news, because last year, late in the year, he stood out. Not from a positive perspective here. Now Brady obviously and the Bucs is.
I mean, on that side of the ball, John, I think that the Eagles are going to play zone as they do. They play the lowest percentage of man coverage in the NFL. They may line up Slay over Evans as they lined up Slay last week over. Who did they play last week? I totally just had a senior.
That was the my God.
I know.
The Dolphins, right?
Right.
No.
They didn't play the Dolphins.
No. Who the hell did they play?
I just had a senior moment here.
Oh, it was the Dolphins. You're talking about the Eagles?
I'm talking about the Eagles play.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought you were talking about Mike Evans.
No, the Eagles played the Panthers. So
last
week, it just came back to me. So last week they lined up Slay over Moore, DJ Moore, but they didn't play man. So they could well line up Slay over Evans, but they're not going to play man because they can't match up to the other receivers. That's the problem. So they're going to play zone. Last week, the one difference in the Eagles defense on the back end was they played far more single high safety cover 3. They'd been very high percentage split safety. I don't know if they'll do that tonight. When you do play single high, the seams are available. So we'll see. But the point is, they're a zone defense and they can't match up.
Right. Do you think the Eagles, the way they're playing defense right now, are essentially inviting people to run the ball? Because they're getting run on and they're kind of stingy on the back end there.
Yeah. Well, their whole defense is set up to not give up big explosive plays. That's what they don't want to do. They haven't really given up many of those this year. Their pass rush has been really good. They're facing a very good O-line, though, and a quarterback that obviously has always helped his O-line in Brady. Brady's not a sitting duck in the pocket, even though he doesn't have second reaction ability. He's not a sitting duck. I don't think the Bucs are going to come out and run the ball. They run the ball as part of their offense, but not as a foundational element.
Yeah, well, that's true. When you have the GOAT, I mean, why would you do that?
Yeah.
We do like Godwin tonight for that matchup when he's on Maddox at times. Undersized guy, Philly guy as well. Didn't work out for DJ Moore last week though. Moving on here, let's talk Dolphins Jags. Looks like it's Tua Tagovailoa. What have you seen this year from this Dolphins D? I was pretty high on them. I thought they were great last year. I just kind of, it's easy to assume when you have like a young team like this and they really show well. Okay, well, they had Phillips in the draft. Here we go. Let's get better. And they've taken a step back. What are you seeing from the Dolphin D?
Yeah, they still want to play a lot of man. They didn't play as much of it last week as they had through the first 4 games. I think that was a function of playing against the Bucs, but I think at their core they'd like to play a lot of man. Phillips has flashed on tape, by the way. He's starting to look good. They're giving him more snaps inside as well as a 3 technique. So I think he's going to be a good player, but they just haven't been as good, on defense. It's some teams this year, the Dolphins, the Chiefs, they're doing a lot of the same things. They're just not doing it as well. So that's really all I can say. I mean, they're just not as good as they were a year ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of the same players here. I mean, last year Howard and Jones were good. This year, I mean, dare I say, as a tandem, might even be below average. For the Jags, I know you saw their tape and Trevor Lawrence. I know we talked about, I believe last week, we don't want him running over exposing himself, but I really do like more read option with Trevor Lawrence. If it's only at the goal, okay, because it's helping him for fantasy. Seems to be opening things up. It seems to me like Lawrence is starting to settle in a little bit here.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I think I think he's continuing to look more and more comfortable. I thought this week he slowed down a bit. His delivery looked less hurried. I think he's going to be a good player. Look, there have been studies done by teams that show that rookie quarterbacks struggle the most when they're on bad teams. He's on a bad team and he's actually playing pretty well. The key thing is that he's not getting beat up. He's not getting sacked a lot. He's not getting beat up. That's the issue a lot of young quarterbacks have when they're on bad teams, John. But fortunately, that's not the case for Trevor Lawrence.
And he's got a really good running game to help him here. I mean, James Robinson, does he stand out to you?
I think it's a solid running game. He's a solid back. I mean, I think that that's another key. They need to be able to have some kind of balance and run the ball because you just don't want him dropping back 45 times a game.
Yeah. I might be overselling Robinson just because, I had expectations here and he's playing up to here. I do think he's looking better this year. And it does seem to me, Greg, that Trevor Lawrence is comfortable throwing the ball between the numbers. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. And maybe Dan Arnold can really be a thing here. Did you see anything there from that connection?
Yeah, I think he's an important player for them. I don't know, he's only been there a few weeks. I don't know what his target share will be this given week. But the Dolphins, because they play so much man, their tight end matchup is Eric Rowe. And I think that Eric Rowe will match up to Arnold, to Dan Arnold.
That's not a wonderful matchup, right? Rowe is still.
Rowe's a solid player.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. But still, Dan Arnold moving up in the world, no doubt about it. And then Laviska Shenault's role is seemingly in a state of flux here as they played Tavon Austin quite a bit. And we'll have to keep an eye on Marvin Jones because I'm starting to get a little worried about Marvin here. Production has fallen off. Texans at the Colts. And, I'm doing the television there on Sunday, offering commentary on the live action. And I was like, well, number one, Davis Mills looks like a professional quarterback out there. And that's great. But I mean, above and beyond that, Greg, just watching the game.